Well, welcome back, friends. As you can tell here, my dad's car seems to be flipped up on its side. Don't you worry about a thing. It's not actually laying on the garage floor. It's suspended by this apparatus I called the bird flipper. I made that up several builds ago so I get the underside of the car because I decided I don't like jacking up and climbing around on my back. It's a lot easier for me to, a lot easier to spray paint, prep the rest of the welds, take care of any welds that maybe you might have missed, etc. Do any kind of undercoating or seam seal or anything. Makes life a lot easier. Now, you don't have to have a car flipper like this, but you still need to get it up pretty high in the sky if you've done this much metal work to give it a once over. Let me show you a few things to check out, a few things we need to address before we proceed with getting this all scuffed down, put in epoxy, and its final semi-gloss black. Now from here, she looks pretty good. Now you can tell, like I said, we reused part of that convertible bracing because it was still in really, really nice condition. Had to replace the one leg because it had some issues. Now, getting up close and personal, you can see here, now these are the welds I did from the top side down. They got a little bit of gunk on them, got a couple little strands here, see little, that needs buzzed off. So we just need to lightly buff those welds to clean them up. Got a few poke throughs here from the screws, same thing, probably just dress those, a little bit of a grinder action. This is what makes it super advantageous, laying it on the side. I can just buzz right through all these. And same thing here, these plug welds here along my pinch weld, they all laid out pretty good. Pretty solid, lines up pretty decent, pulled together tight, happy with that. But some things that I missed, you notice what should be here, a couple plug welds, probably even one more here. There's just multiple layers, kind of hard to get to. So I need to burn all that in on both rails, that one and this one. And this one still has that big bolt that I put through it to pull it into place. It just was being very stubborn. So again, need to take that bolt out. There's a rogue hole here that didn't even get welded. I suspect is when I put that. You can see the silhouette here of that additional convertible floor brace. The screw poked through the torque box, and I didn't see that. So I'll have to drill this hole out, weld it from the bottom here back up. Same thing here. That looks like about the same condition. You just need to drill that out and weld that shut. But this is one of the cool things about getting where you can get underneath the car and do some digging. And this is what I talk about. You have to make sure that little hole's open. I forgot to notch that out of the floor pan before I put the floor pan in, so I might have messed that up a little bit. The other thing you can do while we got it sitting up on the side here, now we've got things pulled up pretty tight. Now I can go through here now and lightly tap all of these seams. Close them up like that, make them look really clean. That's kind of like what I like to do, but there you kind of see here, quarter panel lines up with a rocker panel. When I welded the quarter panel to the rocker panel, it's kind of hard to reach down through this hole and do some welding in here. I goofed, I burned through. You can see where I put it right there, buzzed it, came down further, blew a hole through it. But while this is up on its side, I can address that problem there, hopefully get that sealed up. So don't always get 100% perfect, but even now it's on its side, we're coming through now and do our seam sealing in between our two halves. Inspect all these welds here. They just need a little bit of dressing, a little bit of buzzing to kind of level them off. They're not bad, but they're protruding through a little bit. This one here is real ugly. I must have burned through or something. But again, why it slipped up on its side. Stickers, still need to remove those. I didn't take all of them off. I have a few, it says here Camaro. You know, it's the Firebird. Got one there. And then I've got the Camaro tail panel with the holes. Now, I was not originally going to build a Camaro. I'm building a Firebird, but I opted to leave the holes here because of this whole backup sensor thing. I figured that would help me fish the wires through and service it if I ever had to. So I'm going to leave those holes just as you see them for the purpose of 100% like I meant to do it for the sensors. Go see here. Here's my little pink strings here. So that gives me some way to at least feed the wires through if the strings ever break or I had to replace them later on. More daggum stickers. Now this is pretty dusty down here from all the work I've been doing now. Buzz that sticker off, but we can also check all of our gaps here. Make sure everything is hammered up tight, pulled up good here. Those are all things I like to do. That way now, once we get all those welds dressed, cleaned, polished, whatever you want to call them, re-weld a few of them. And then what I plan to do then is, I do not plan to remove all the EDP coating. I only plan on just scuffing it and painting over top of it. This is the underbody. Now the outside panels, this is the outside panel. I will strip all that EDP off of those. Now, once that's all scuffed and painted and pretty, I plan to do like I've done in the past. There's this line here, it's really defined. Tape that off from there forward. And then paint the whole underbody from that line back. Done. Happy. Great. Then what I do then is put this back down, take the car flipper thing back off, then I paint the firewall all the way up. And as I'm looking at it here, someone needs to weld these on too. Convertibles only, but this is actually normally stitch welded between the two pieces. I haven't done that yet, so I need to do that. So I probably be a smart guy, get some of my masking tape and start putting it all over things that need addressed, because it's a lot of things I might miss. So this is the advantage of definitely getting it high in the sky or flipping it on its side, so you can take care of all these little things. And another thing, if you do decide to sandblast it, it's probably a good idea to try to blow some air between all the panels, because that stuff just keeps on falling out of there. So this is now one of those disadvantages of sandblasting. But I don't know which is the lesser of the evils, leaving it rusty or cleaning it up. So again, we'll get that all cleaned up and get this painted, and we're ready to put the fuel tank, fuel lines, brake lines, everything here in the back, and work our way. The amazing car flipper is not a patented device. Something I engineered on the first car that I did here in the Vinyl Village garage. Did I use it on the first? Yes, I did use it on the first car. Memory starting to give away. I'm here just a little bit on this car right here. So that's the first car that I used it on. I have some previous videos. Check out the link here. See how to build one. I have the plans on that video at the end. If you want to attempt to build such a thing, bought that cylinder from Harbor Freight for like 40 bucks. The rest of the metal, I don't know, with inflation and the price of everything else, that may be $200 plus now for the metal. I don't know. But anyway, super life-saving thing for me, or time saver, and I love it. So anyway, I'm going to work on doing all those things I just mentioned, or the unmentionables, take that care of that. Probably not going to do much video on grinding and filling in holes. That's, I think, self-explanatory. But once I get that squared away and scuffed and ready to seal and paint, I'll grab the camera and get back with you all, show you how that's all done, and then we'll hopefully keep on moving forward and keep the camera going, and we'll catch you all then.